Hey everyone, Pastor Curtis here with another quick question video. And Savannah asked me about 2 Samuel 24. She was confused and her question was this: God told David to count his people, but then David got in trouble from God for it. Why? That doesn't make sense. And Savannah's question is a really good one, so I looked for the answer in my Bible. And the first thing that I noticed in my Bible was in the margin of my Bible, it points me to similar stories or sometimes even identical stories that are in the Bible compared to the one I'm reading. So I noticed that 2 Samuel 24 had a side note that pointed to 1 Chronicles 21. So when I looked them up, both 2 Samuel 24 and 1 Chronicles 21 list details about the same story. So if we use them to compare, we'll understand the answer to Savannah's question a little bit better. In 2 Samuel 24, the Bible makes it seem like God told David to take a census or to count his people. But when you look at the account in 1 Chronicles, it clearly says that Satan enticed David to count his people to do that. So which of the verses are right? Actually, this story reminds me of Job. See, Job was also tested by Satan. But if you remember that story, in Job chapter 1, Satan had to ask God's permission to be able to test Job in the first place. And then as Job was being tested, Job, he kept a godly mindset. Look at Job chapter 1, verses 21 and 22 with me, in which Job says this: "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing." And so Job knew that it wasn't God who was putting him through these terrible things, but rather that it was Satan. So back to today's story with King David, Satan tempted David to do wrong, but God allowed it to happen. God absolutely cannot tempt people, and he can't cause people or tell people to sin because God himself is incapable of sinning. But God is in control of the universe, and God does allow his people to be tested. David failed his test miserably. He took the bait from Satan and numbered the men who were able to fight. Now, why was that a sin? Why would it be a sin for him to number his people? Look what Joab says in 2 Samuel 24, verse 3. "But Joab replied to the king, 'May the Lord your God multiply the troops 100 times over, and may the eyes of my lord the king see it. But why does the Lord my king want to do such a thing? Why do you want to number the people, King David?' Joab knew it was wrong because Joab had faith that no matter what army they faced, God would be able to help them defeat it. And Joab placed his faith in God, but King David was trying to place his faith in the number of people which would be fighting for him. And that was trying to place his faith in numbers and not in God. And that's why it was a sin. That's why it was sinful. And that's why God punished him for it. We can learn from King David, and we can learn from Job's example too in the book of Job. Our trust is supposed to be fully in God. And King David was a bad example of that, but Job was a good example of that. It shouldn't matter how much money we have, how strong we think we are, how good looking we think we are, how many friends we have on social media or in real life, how cool we are, or how many good things we've done in our life, and it shouldn't matter what kind of situation we are in. Our trust is not supposed to be in those things. Our trust is supposed to be in God alone. God is the one who created us and the one who saves us too. So place your faith in him. And once you've placed your faith in him, keep your faith in him no matter what bad things are happening, no matter how bad the situation looks, and no matter how important you think you are to the world and the world around you. Always place your faith in God. So, Savannah, God didn't command King David to count his people, but rather it was Satan tempting David with permission from God. And David failed the test. King David wanted to get a big head by counting his armies so he could feel confident in himself, when he was supposed to be confident in our God and his God. And who do you place your faith and trust in? Do you place your faith and trust in yourself, like King David? Or do you put your faith and trust in God? I hope the answer to that question is God. And I hope that rather than relying on your own strengths, gifts, and abilities, that you'll rely fully on God. Proverbs 3:5-6 say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." God bless you, and I hope today you choose, no matter what's going on in your life, and no matter how cool or strong you think you are, that instead you'll trust fully on God and submit to him. And all of his ways are better than our ways. God bless you.